Hello, my name's Tonya. I'm a personal trainer and a mum of 5. This is my podcast, Live Yourself Better, and it's for busy people just like you. Okay, so today I am going wild swimming. It's something that I've wanted to do for maybe 6 or 7 years, and I have finally decided to take the plunge, pardon the pun. That means that I will be going for a swimming lesson in the water near Kingsbury. It's called Midlands Open Water, and I'll take you with me. I can't take you with me in the water because obviously my phone will get wet, and that wouldn't be good. So what I'll do is I'll let you know before I go in and then how it was afterwards, and I'm hoping that I might be able to get a photo, or that they might take a photo, so we shall see. And I'll write a blog post about it. But what I'm doing now is just making sure that I have got the right kit, because I just have this fear that I'll turn up and there'll be me in some kind of full-on scuba diving kit with the hat and everything else. Obviously, I haven't really got that. But this is just my vision, my nightmare vision, that I walk along and everyone else is just looking really cool and not having all of this kit and just really slick, and then there's me, the newbie, turning up, kind of waddling along the promenade bit, looking like something out of a comedy film. So I just need to double check, and I'm glad that I did. Well, I say double check, this is probably treble or quadruple check, but sometimes I read a list and then I forget if I don't write it down. So I was wondering what to wear underneath the wetsuit. I was thinking, just put pants on, put nothing on. No, that doesn't sound right, nothing. So I read somewhere else to get a rash vest to put under a wetsuit. I don't even know what a rash vest is. I have got one. I don't know what it is, what it's for. But once I started into the wetsuit market, and then you read, oh, you must get this and must get that. So I did find it was reduced price. It was in the sale. We love a reduced price sale item. So I got one of those. But looking at the list again, it seems I don't need one, because very sensibly they've put at the top that you can wear a costume or trunks. So actually I did think this morning, and I shoved my costume in the bag. So that goes underneath the wetsuit. With the wetsuit, I did email the venue and ask them what kind of wetsuit should I buy, because I was just so overwhelmed. This is new to me. I haven't bought a wetsuit before. So that actually starting to Google stuff, you just enter into several wormholes. Do I get a long-legged one, a short-legged one? What thickness? What price range? I'm just so overwhelmed. So I just asked them what thickness, because that was the most baffling, and they suggested a medium range wetsuit. So that was good, because we're going into autumn, although with today being 28 degrees, I'm wondering, am I actually going to be too hot? But I am glad that I got not just the thinnest, because it means I can then go again as we get towards the colder weather. The bright swim hat, right, so this one, quite a few weeks ago, I went online to buy my swim hat, forgot the word bright, and I did look at the bright pink and the orange, and I felt with the bright pink, I would just look like a giant condom. I just can't wear a bright pink thing on my head. I'm not ready for this. So I actually went for the black. You might think, why didn't you go for purple or blue? I have no idea. I don't know, but I just forgot. And then I reread the list at some point after I'd ordered the hat, shoved it in the cupboard, probably gone past the time you can return it. And then I read it and thought, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. So a couple of weeks ago, I remembered we've got a big bag of swim hats, because my kids, in their old swimming lessons, they had to wear a hat or they weren't allowed to swim, which meant we ended up with a collection, because you can imagine some days we forgot the hat, so we had to get another one. So I've got an orange one, which, that's bright, isn't it? The goggles, yes, I wear those anyway, because I go indoor swimming quite regularly. The toe float, bright pink. This was funny this morning. I hadn't blown it up or tried to assemble it. And there's a strap that goes around your waist, and the same strap attaches. It has a strap attached to that goes and attaches to the toe float. No instructions. All it says is attach the strap, which is really helpful, especially for someone like me, who I do need the step-by-step instructions when it comes to assembling things. And so I had to resort to Googling videos of this brand of toe float. And on about the third video, it was revealed exactly how to connect it, because prior to that, in my head, I'm going, Amazon have sold me a faulty product. I'm going to complain. I can't believe there's a bit missing from this. My head's going into all these scenarios. I'm going to turn up with this, with a waist strap on, just holding a toe float as I walk up, and everyone's going to laugh because I couldn't attach it. So this is the fears. What is wrong with me? Does anyone else have these kind of fears when going to do something or doing something new? So I've worked it out. I've managed to attach the strap to the toe float. The towel changing robe, that's fairly straightforward. I've just taken a towel. And this is the bit I struggle with. And people who know me well will know sometimes I can do really complex stuff and I can retain complex information. But when it comes to simple lists and common sense, it's difficult, because it says here, warm clothes for after swim. It doesn't say clothes dependent on the weather. It says warm clothes. But when it's 28 degrees, do you still need warm clothes when you get out? Am I still going to be cold because of the temperature of the water? So therefore, I have a massive over-analysis of this. Probably other people might just throw some clothes in and not really overthink this. So I haven't actually packed the clothes yet for after the swim, because I don't know, should I just put back on the clothes that I'm wearing? I'll figure it out. Leave it with me. It'll all be fine. Footwear, sandals, flip-flops. Don't wear flip-flops. I don't own sandals. But I did remember we had a bag in the garage, which I'm thankful I didn't clear out. I had a big clear out. We used to live near to the sea. And on account of that, I've got a big bag of hot tuna shoes. You know, those slip-on surf type shoes. And I had looked at it when we moved here. And I went, in Birmingham, how often do you need a pair of hot tuna shoes on average? Not really very often from my experience. However, I kept them because I thought maybe we'll go to the beach, maybe the kids will wear them paddling in the stream at the park or something. I don't know. There's some use for them, isn't there? So I did keep them, and I was quite ruthless with the things I threw out. So I'm glad of that. So I've got those. Neoprene gloves / boots, optional. I'm glad they've put optional. I haven't got those, but it is deliberate, because I did feel a bit like a year 7 just starting school, whose parent is going down the whole, well, obviously I am the parent of myself, going down, sorry mum, you are still my parent, you know what I mean. When I'm trying to prepare this, I haven't asked my mum to help. Like, maybe I should have, I don't know, should I? Maybe I should. When you get everything on the list, like every single item, and then you go in and realise you didn't need the hockey kit until year 9 or year 10, but you've even got the stick. So this is where I thought, look, slow down, put the brakes on. You don't know if you'll do this again or how often you'll do it. So there's no need to go and invest in every single thing, especially as it says optional. So I don't have that. Final item on the list, good idea to bring a hot drink and a snack too. So again, I'm struggling with this. Good idea to bring a hot drink. Does that also apply in September when it's 28 degrees? I've got the flask. Do I fill it with an ice drink? I'm taking a 2-litre bottle of water as well, so I'm guessing not. So having had the debate, I'm considering maybe I'll just put a cup of tea in there. Probably won't need it, but as it's on the list and it doesn't say optional, that's the thing I'm struggling with as well. So after having all of these debates in my own head, I think we're ready to go. The only thing I've got to do is just sort the clothes. So I will see you on the other side when I arrive there, and I'll talk to you a little bit about why I'm a little fearful of open water swimming. It's partly my own fault, I will admit, but I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I've just arrived. I didn't know if I'd found the right place because I didn't see a sign. That's not to say there isn't one, but I didn't see one. But Google Maps told me to turn, and it was like a country lane, and there was a car coming out of it, and there was a post on the gate, a sign on the gate post that said no through road. And so I'm starting to panic, thinking, I'm actually driving down to someone's farm. No, keep going. Trust in Google Maps. So I've just got here. I am early. I always get to places early. Anyone that knows me well will tell you I am always one of the first, if not the first, to arrive, because I have an overwhelming fear of being late. I hate doing things last minute, and I just like to get somewhere and be able to compose myself before I do whatever the thing is. So I didn't know if I was in the right place, because there's a car park, and I'm thinking, yeah, there's a lake, yeah, good. Then I could see one of those bright floats bobbing around, attached to a person swimming. And then I saw another one, and I thought, great, we're in the right place. There are people swimming in the lake, they've got the floats on, and I'm looking at 3 green huts. One has got glass doors on the front, so it looks like that's some kind of office or reception, and there are people heading over there. There are people outside sitting in the sun. It's such a beautiful day, and some people that have just got into the water. So it looks, I'm so pleased we found this place. It looks like an absolute gem, and I can't wait to get in the water. I must admit, I am nervous, and I did promise that I would talk about this. So I have a bit of a fear of being in water when I don't know what's in the water. And I don't know really where it came from. I think probably when I was younger and we were in Spain, my sister and I were in the sea, and one of the locals came shouting about a big fish, and we needed to get out of the water. And his English was better than my Spanish, but he was using the words that he could use to try and get my sister and I to understand, you need to get out of the water. And nothing really ever came of it. Everybody got out, and I don't really remember. I was quite young, so I don't really remember there being a dramatic Jaws moment. But I have watched the film Jaws, and I've watched it more than once, and more than one of the films, and I suppose that stays as well, that fear of the unknown. But I have had a phase of watching river monsters. I absolutely love Jeremy Wade. I love river monsters. I find it so relaxing. I must have watched every episode, but that doesn't help either, because then you get to see what's in the water all around the world, and not just that, things that are in the water that actually kill people. So when I think about the Wells catfish, which I believe, I don't know if there are any in the UK, they're certainly in Europe, and they can grow pretty hefty. Don't think there's any evidence that they've actually killed someone, but I think they can pack a bit of a punch. Don't think there are any in this lake, but it's all things like this that has made my mind work into overdrive. I don't tolerate uncertainty well. That is part of anxiety, the intolerance of uncertainty. So I think that's all thrown in the mix. And also when we went to New York, we went to Coney Island Beach. We went on an amazing holiday a few years ago, holiday of a lifetime. And at Coney Island Beach, a true story, I was sitting guarding all the bags and the cameras and everything, and the others are all in the water. And then one of the lifeguards enters into the water, orders everybody to get out. There was a whistle blown, I think, and all the swimmers were shouting and everybody had to get out. And it was a shark, but the lifeguard picked up the shark. I'm not joking. Picked up the shark like a baby in his arms, as though casual as you like, yeah. And what it was a baby shark. It was reasonable. It's probably the length of from your bicep to the end of your fingertips, that long. So it's not tiny, but not really big enough to, well, I suppose they could still bite. So he actually carried it and took it into deeper water and then let it go. So, and I was like, hang on a minute. We've all got out of the water, not because the shark is a danger to us, because we're a danger to the baby shark that's got lost, and the baby shark needs to find its way back to the deeper ocean. But after this has happened, my overriding thought is, where there's a baby shark, there's a mummy shark. Might even be a daddy shark. It might even be grandma shark, granddad shark too. So I'm not going to take any chances. Don't really want the kids to get back in. So I think the kids from that time were allowed to paddle to the point of your feet are in, and then we're just going to call it a day. We're going to go and get an ice cream or something. And they'd been in a while, to be fair. But it just made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, to say the least. And I think all of those things just play into this fear. So imagine when I'm in the water, if I get a leaf or something that slimes past my foot, I probably will scream. But it's okay. I need to get over this. Not so worried about the temperature of the water. I don't like going into cold water, I'll admit, but that's not the overriding fear. And I'm not fearful of drowning or anything like that. That's not, but it's the things that are in there that sort of scare me. and I'm sure today it'll be fine. The crocodiles will all stay at bay. The Wells catfish is too tired, too hot. They're not going to get me. I know this sounds ridiculous, but fears are not rational. And I think that's another thing for us to remember. But what I'm hoping in my journey, and being honest and sharing things like this with you, if there are things that you find overwhelming or you're fearful of doing because of whatever reason, that it might make you think, can I do this? If she can get in that water with all of that going on, then yeah, hopefully it'll be inspiring as well. I'm saying all this, but I haven't actually got in yet, and I am just waffling because I'm nervous, and this is what I do. So I'm going to go. I'll hopefully try and get some photos. I'll ask them to take a photo of me in there. I'm not sure what's possible. I feel a bit like one of those people. I'm just doing a podcast, and oh no, it's one of them. Oh dear, we've got one of them here. Everyone was having a quiet day, and now this woman's arrived. And she's talking about take an angle of the photo from it. Actually, no, I won't. I wouldn't be fussy about the angle of the picture and all sorts of things, as long as it shows something. I'm not going to make them take and retake it. We're not here for that. Right, okay, I am waffling. I am going to go, but I will update you when I've been in the water. See you soon. So it was absolutely amazing. I am so happy to have just done that, and I feel actually really brave to have got into the lake, and all the fears about not knowing what was in there. You know what, they did come into play at some points, I'm not going to lie, but the way that we were instructed by the instructor, who was called Dawn, was really good, just to focus on the stroke, focus on the swimming, not to let those fears overwhelm me. And I did have to do that a couple of points, especially when I knew that we got into deeper water and I was trying not to think about what was underneath me. But it was brilliant. It was a really nice group of ladies, and I'm just so glad that I tried it. We started with a little safety talk and introducing ourselves and what we wanted to get out of the swimming. That was before we got into the water. And then when you get in, you go down the bank, and there's a few weeds there that you can get caught in, but so you have to get them and pick them off you, but try and swim around them. And then we swam out. Once we got ourselves in, it wasn't too cold. It was 22 degrees, the water, so probably a bit spoilt today, but then it's an incredibly hot day. And I had my wetsuit on, but I was in the minority. So all that panic about what to wear, about what to buy, what to bring, the most important thing really was to have the bright hat and ideally a tow float, but the bright hat was the main thing really, so that we could be spotted in the water. And so, yeah, we went in and swam out to the buoy, and there's a few buoys around the lake. It's actually a 600 metre circuit that you can do around the outsides. And it was just brilliant. It was so relaxing just to be out there in nature, in the water, without a care in the world. And Dawn was absolutely brilliant instructor. I highly recommend it. Anybody, go out there to Midlands Open Water, have a look at their website, find them on the social media. There will be some pictures hopefully going up from our swim at some point, and I'll obviously share some on the blog, and which will be on my website when I've launched it on the 17th of September. So yes, it's brilliant. Go and try it, and I'll give you more details about. So I can't think straight. You know, like, I'm bambling on. I can't actually think straight, and that's really good. I think when I was in there, I was so immersed in the moment and so focused on what I was doing, and the worries of the world just floated away. As corny as that sounds, it probably does, but I can't really explain it, because I find living in the moment is a really hard thing to do, especially in the home, in our busy lives, with everything going on around us. So I'll come back to you later when I've composed myself, because actually it's probably a really good thing that my mind's gone a bit blank, because it shows that I have relaxed, and I'm not just on to the next thing. So yeah, I'll come back to you, but I just wanted to give an update because I've literally just been in, and it's excellent. Okay, so I'm home now, and I just wanted to update you now that my head is back together. I must admit, I did get lost on the way out. I took a wrong turn, and because it's a bit rural, the Google Maps wasn't working. My car sat nav wasn't working, even though the batteries have been replaced in the remote buttons. It just wasn't picking up. So I decided to guess 50-50, chose the wrong way, had a nice little drive around by Kingsbury, around by Tamworth, and then decided I actually should pull over and really find out how to get home. So I obviously did, because I'm home now, and I thought I'll be able to tell you some of the things that I couldn't have remembered before because I was so chilled out. It was just wonderful. I'm definitely going to do it again, because to reach that level of relaxation is definitely not easy for me. My mind is so busy. I've always got so many projects on the go, so many different threads. So it was just wonderful to have that peace. Okay, so some tips based on today. Just to let you know, at the Midlands Open Water, there aren't any changing rooms or toilets or showers. It is a wild swim, so you have got to roll with that. You can hang your car key up on a hook in the office, which is in one of the kind of containers, the ones with the glass front that I spoke about earlier, and there was someone in there at all times stood next to that. So that's fine, but otherwise there aren't lockers or anything like that. It's okay to take family and friends with you. They can cheer you on from the sidelines. They can come along and take photos for you. It was nice to see, actually, some people had brought their families along. And in terms of getting out, I wasn't cold at all because it's such a hot day. In fact, I didn't even get changed on the way out. So if you heard that noise then, that was just my phone battery telling me it's low. So I just got out in my swimming costume and then put my shorts on, because to be honest, pretty much almost as soon as I was out, the swimming costume's starting to dry in this heat. But I think if the weather's colder, it's a really good idea to have maybe a dressing gown to put around you, and that will also help with you being able to get changed, give you a bit of privacy as well, unless you've got some kind of blinds that you can pull up in your car. There isn't anywhere in the car park that there's nowhere where there's privacy, so you really do have to be a little bit creative with that. But it certainly wouldn't put me off going. I will be going back again 100%. I really enjoyed it, and I'd also like to have the experience when the water is a bit colder. I think that will be really helpful too. Anything else? No, it was fine. Everything I had. I was glad I didn't get the gloves and the boots, because I just really wouldn't have needed them today. I did actually forget to take the hot tuna shoes off when I went into the water. And then when I started swimming, I thought, why are my feet dragging? Oh yeah, because I've got these things on my feet. But apparently you can swim in them. So I did swim up to the first buoy and then back again to the shore and then took them off. And that was a lot easier. But then obviously I could feel the stones under my feet, which was fine. There were a few times while I was in there I did freak out a little bit, but it was all in my head. There was nothing physical about that. It was just the thought, and all I kept thinking about was this crocodile or something coming up from underneath and biting me or attacking me. And I just had to keep bringing myself back, going, that's just not normal. What you need to remember, you're in a lake in England, and nothing in this lake is interested in you. But more than that, I just kept concentrating on my stroke, and I looked at my hands and I concentrated on that and focused on my breathing, and that distracted me from having those thoughts. And I didn't need my flask of tea. I really didn't need that. I think it's still in the car. I haven't brought it in. Actually, I've got to bring my wetsuit in and rinse it out. It's really important to rinse it out and not just let it dry as it is, because it's going to get a bit mouldy, a bit stinky, because obviously it's fresh water. And I forgot to take a snack with me, but because it's such a hot day, I wasn't actually really very hungry when I came out. It was more thirsty and just making sure to stay hydrated. And I can't think of anything else. You can find all the information on the website, which I'll put a link to it on my website. So any links you'll be able to find there, rather than me trying to read out loads and loads of things here. I do want to give a shout out to the ladies that I met today, because we've actually all connected and taken each other's numbers, and I'm sure that we'll all go again together, which will be fantastic. So a shout out to Kat, Hayley, Jane, Jenny, Kirsty and Lucy, and obviously to Dawn, the instructor, and to Jules, who very kindly took some photos for me from the shore. So yeah, an excellent experience. I feel really proud of myself, and I feel like I really overcame something, even in spite of my my river monsters watching. Although, just to clarify, when I said earlier I find it relaxing to watch, how is it relaxing? How is it relaxing watching things that are dangerous lurking in water, which could actually and have attacked people? Well, it's relaxing because I know that Jeremy Wade, he goes in there and he just gets rid of the danger. That's the relaxing part of it. So if you haven't checked out River Monsters, don't go and watch it now before you go wild swimming. Go and watch something else. Yeah, maybe not about that, but I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you for listening, and I hope that it's inspired you to try something different. Try something for you. Try something that maybe you've thought about doing, but then there's all these fears that come, or all these questions, or there's always reasons why we shouldn't do something. And I think especially when we're so busy, when we have dependents, when we have a lot going on, and then there's that guilt element as well. Oh, I don't know if I can make that time because I've got X, Y and Z. But all of that, I'll say, please do it, please, because remember, taking care of us and taking care of ourselves is taking care of everybody else as well. And if we can make sure that our own health is in check and we're functioning as best we can, then that's helping to do all of the other things and support all of the other people that we have to support. So absolutely do it, just do it. If you're thinking of something, make those plans, and I'm sure that you won't regret it. So join me next time. I hope you have a lovely week. Thank you for listening, and we will catch up soon. You can find my website, Live Yourself Better, liveyoubetter.biz. That's live, LIVEYOUBETTER.biz. liveyoubetter.biz. See you soon.